All right.
I expect a sharp uptick in your guys'
Good
viewership.
evening,
What?
ladies and gentlemen, and Micah.
Yo,
This is the Maddy and Burly Show. That over there is Maddy, number 41.
that's right.
You got Burly here. Oh, 42.
A lot of
Oh,
cricket and
yeah,
drink.
42. And we brought a special guest on tonight. This is our first time with a new guest. I hope everybody enjoys him. His name is Micah the Strength Redden.
Yep.
He
And
is
I'm
hailing
AK.
from Wilmington, North Carolina these days. And he'll be joining us. We've got an exciting show for you tonight. What say ye, Maddie? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready to get this show on the road.
Well, Micah, welcome to the show.
thanks, man. Appreciate you having me.
We're excited to finally have our first guest live, and we'll see how that goes over. I think you need to get some Grecian formula. That could be our first
Greece.
sponsor.
I
Get
don't even
that
know what that
gray out
is.
of your head. Me
Oh,
and Maddie
Jesus.
have earned it. We're over 50. You have not yet
I've earned.
earned
I've,
such.
I've, I've, I promise you, I've earned it.
Well,
We'd like to
tonight
thank
we're
our
mostly going
sponsor.
to
We'd like to thank our sponsor tonight, the Maddy Law Firm. Admit nothing,
the Maddie
deny
Law
everything,
Firm,
and call your
our one
lawyer.
and only sponsor thus far. Um, as you can see, my hair is still all black. See, no gray there. Just a little around the tips here. Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Maddie's got a nice squirrel growing on his chin,
that's right.
and we don't know what Micah's got going there. But,
Big
he's like
Texas.
32 years old, ladies, and
Oh, yeah, right.
so I want to kick this show off with we are going to talk about NCAA basketball, but first and foremost, there are two. How many did I say, Maddie? Two
Two.
things. Two things we need to talk about. Number one is still undefeated, and we apologize for missing last week. Mr. Maddie had his youngest daughter that made him a granddad. She was in the hospital, and we're all glad she's back home and feeling better. So we're glad for Emily to be back home. We still don't know exactly what's wrong, but she's back home and she is out of danger as we know today, correct? All right.
Doing good. Doing
So
good.
and that's good. So that's why we missed last week anyway. We apologize, but we've got in 2 weeks the Florida State Seminoles have gone from 12-0 to 18-0 in college baseball. Only undefeated team in college baseball. Yeah, go Noles! Up to 12th in the country. So, of course, they will lose all 3 games this coming weekend. As I've said that.
Probably.
And we were going
Who's
to
number
do a
one?
big NFL free agent signing deal. We'll wait to do that next week, but I do want to throw out the biggest free agent signing so far in the NFL this preseason, and that's the Dallas Cowboys have signed their long snapper.
Streaming March 20th on Disney
God.
Plus. Believe.
They did that.
Well, they also signed
Because we're going to be
Rico
punting a
Dowdell.
whole lot with no running back.
Oh, yeah. Well, they signed Rico.
No quarterback either.
Well, yeah, the quarterback might go to jail. Who knows? But
Why is he going to jail?
oh, he's been raping people apparently.
He's been raping your team for hundreds of millions of dollars. I know that.
Well, he did restructure
Touche.
to free up $4
Touche,
million
Bigger.
in salary cap. Just so everybody knows, he was kind enough to free up $4 whole million. I think the 3 of us could go sign for them and save them at least $1 million. I mean, I'd take $1 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'd take a handle of fucking. Yeah,
Handle of Jim Beam, I'd go play.
that's right. I think so.
All right, well, let's start off with our guest here. Introduce yourself, Micah, and tell everybody about a little bit about you.
I know nothing about sports, so don't take anything I take seriously. I by my betting pattern over the past week with Aaron, Mr. Burley there, that has been clearly evident, even though picking Wyndham Clark to win the Players was devastating. So that was a big
Well, he
one,
only
but
he only lost you. He only lost you by one stroke. It was okay.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, one stroke. Well, it doesn't matter. One stroke, half a point, the hook, whatever. It all goes down. So I'm just happy to be on here. I've been able to reconnect with Burnley, who I haven't spoken to much here in the last few years, but we've been quite after it here now that the tournament time's around. So I look forward to just catching up and being on the show and trying to offer the worst insight I could possibly give.
Well, certainly, whatever insight you give is going to be better than Joe Lenardi's ever will be. So we'll start there. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's start with Maddie, and we'll start in the East bracket, and just go down through the first round real quick, and give us your round one winners.
Obviously, I got UConn over Stetson.
Okay.
I've got Northwestern over Florida Atlantic. I got San Diego State over UAB. I got Auburn over Yale. And I'm pulling Duquesne over BYU in the round one upset.
All right.
Illinois over Morehead State. Washington State of the Pac-2 over Drake. Iowa State over South Dakota State. And obviously North Carolina over Howard / Wag. Is that
Oh
Wagner?
no! You're dipping into the West
You've
now.
already, Maddie.
You already
Maddie,
already
look,
you
look,
already googled up there. Yeah.
I withdraw that.
Yeah.
well, you're the lawyer in this bunch.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So those are my
suppose
picks. I only have one upset in the East bracket.
the East bracket is typically the hardest bracket. Would you not agree, Micah?
Typically it is, but I don't view this particular year as it being the hardest bracket.
I
So
I agree. You can go ahead and run down your picks, and then if we have any big discrepancies, I've already got two with Maddie, but I'm going to leave those. But you go ahead and
yeah,
run down
I'm
your
not
top.
I'm not there's no need to I agree with everything that Maddie had with the exception of two. Um Having watched BYU, I that Duquesne, I get where you're coming from here. I think they can hit the three ball and finish. I think BYU still comes out on top there, and then your Pac-2 team I think goes down to Drake.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I think your Pac-2
oh.
goes there. I agree with I was on board with everything else, but I think BYU still gets by Duquesne, and my upset there in that region is going to be Drake over Washington State.
Oh.
So, don't have a
Well,
ton of insight on it. Just I've you know kind of been
so
looking at
looking at the
standings and
percentages,
records. I just don't think the Pac-12 are particularly that fantastic.
looking over the percentages over the years, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 obviously win predominantly. There's only been
Hmm.
two one seeds ever to lose. Stetson, don't put your cowboy hat on it because it ain't happening against UConn this year.
Or
UConn
you're
rolls that game. The thing that didn't happen last year, which has happened, I think, 5 out of the previous 6, is a 12 to beat a 5. And this is where UAB beats San Diego State in the
Mm.
first round. That's my upset.
I almost picked that one.
Yeah, well, I
Mm.
mean, there's
I
bound
mean,
to be
UAB
one.
has got more. I mean, they're averaging more points per game. They're 2-1 versus the top 25, but San
Yes.
Diego State is 3-0 versus the top 25.
Well, the problem
So
that San Diego
that's why
State
I was
has is
hesitant to pick UAB.
Tony Gwynn's not there anymore, and he played baseball and basketball, but they're going down. I'm gonna side with Micah here with BYU, and I'm also gonna side with Maddy on Washington State. So my big
No, split
upset
the
there would
difference.
be UAB over San Diego State. Now we can go down to the West in the first round, and that's on Maddy.
All right.
Mike, are you drinking?
Uh,
Oh yeah. I just can't show you what I'm too embarrassed to show you what I'm drinking right now because I'm over at my
Is it
friend's
a
house
White
right
Claw?
now.
If it's a White Claw, you're kicked off.
yeah. Oh, it is a.
Oh my God, it's a White Claw. Oh,
it's
who
the only
invited
booze
this
over
guy?
here, man. I had to take what
I'm
I.
not the administrator.
Oh,
Steve Maddy is. So
Yeah,
anybody that wants to comment
oh,
on that, you blame
yeah.
Steve Maddy for this.
Yeah. Actually,
oh.
Brought,
while you're doing
brought.
your picture, I'm actually going to head to the fridge and give me a cold new one.
All right,
All
Maddie,
right.
what
So,
we got? The West. You already
I
said
got,
North Carolina.
yeah, North Carolina, Michigan State over Mississippi State,
All right.
St. Mary's over Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I really struggle with this, but I think Bama is probably the better team, so I picked Bama over Charleston, and I'm pulling.
Are you froze
The
up?
upset in this bracket is going to be New Mexico over Clemson. Then we've got
Okay.
Baylor over Colgate. And let me make sure I don't go into the next bracket. Dayton, I'm going with Nevada over Dayton. That's
Right.
a second upset. And then Arizona over Long Beach State.
Did
Although
you take
I was tempted
Alabama
to
or
pull,
Charleston?
huh?
Did you take Alabama or Charleston?
I took Alabama.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you kind of
Alabama over
broke up on
Charleston.
this there for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alabama over Charleston. New
Yep.
Mexico over Clemson. Baylor over Colgate. Nevada upsets Dayton. And then I'm going with Arizona over Long Beach State, although I really like what Long Beach State's done after their coach has resigned. All they did was run the table in the conference tournament and win the conference tournament to get into the tournament. So, but nonetheless, I'm going with Arizona. I think Long Beach's run comes to a close in the first round.
Well, in Arizona, this is their last little soiree into the Pac-2. They'll be leaving.
That's blasphemy. They're not even part of the Pac-2.
All right, what do you say, Micah? Second, the West first round.
Well, it is. It's really kind of hard to argue with really what anything you're putting down there. I mean, there's obviously no way North Carolina's not losing. I think the one here for me is the Mississippi State Michigan State. I mean, obviously it's an 8-9 game, pretty easy, but this one's starting off the tournament. So I think if anyone wants to have a perfect bracket this year, that's the one to get right. Right out of the gate. So I don't know. I mean, Aaron's. Burley said something, the other day that kind of stuck with me, and it's Tom Izzo season, so I think that's the difference there. There's nothing to say about St. Mary's. Always go with the over in an Alabama game if we're speaking about that. Charleston, I live in Wilmington, so this is CAA country. They are a formidable team, but I just don't think they're going to have the firepower to take that team out. I think everyone's on New Mexico over Clemson after that dud they laid in the ACC tournament against BC, and I think there's just a lot of non-believers there in New Mexico. Formidable opponent, but Baylor should take care of business. And then that the other one, the 7-10. Nevada probably is the winner there as well in Arizona. So I'm really siding with pretty much everything you had to run down on there.
Yeah, I mean it's the West. The West is typically the group that has the most upsets, right? Typically, um,
I don't see it in this run.
now this year it's North Carolina chalk. I think they did the ACC a favor here. They let 5 teams in, and they put North Carolina in my opinion, the weakest bracket because Arizona's not that good. Clemson is awful. Dayton will lose to Nevada. Baylor is probably the only team in there that can give North Carolina any kind of business. And yes, I agree. Michigan State, Tom Izzo wins the first round, but he's got nothing for North Carolina.
No.
So yeah, it's North Carolina, Michigan State, St. Mary's, Alabama, New Mexico, Baylor, Nevada, and Arizona straight down the line.
And then I
that's
just one point here. I know damn well why the NCAA put Arizona in the same bracket as North Carolina is because Caleb Love is a transfer from North Carolina to Arizona, so they want that matchup in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
It's not
so
going well. It could happen, but all right, we'll see.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they definitely want Michigan State, Carolina in round 2.
Well, yeah, and that's
just
probably going to happen. I mean, the SEC's been strong this year. The Big Ten, top heavy. The ACC is definitely top heavy with only 2 decent teams. Somehow they got 5 in, but North Carolina's the cream of the crop out west, and we'll see what we see in the second round. But Maddie's got who we at now? We are back up to the
South.
The South. The old South. This should be a fun region this year.
Yeah.
Y'all
I really
run
wanted to
down.
pick. I really wanted to pick.
Juice.
Okay, go get your juice.
Come on, man.
Yeah, why you keep a
Yeah.
juice there beside him?
Yeah, why you gotta get yourself a table or set it on the floor or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, a little cooler or something.
Anything. Yeah, cooler be great. That takes a lot of forethought for Burley, though. That's a lot of preparation. That's a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
That doesn't involve gambling.
Truth.
Yeah, I mean,
Truth.
so yeah, screw him. He'll be back. Look at me over here, being the guest, dictating how the show's going to work. Jesus,
that's right.
Needed
Drinking your
less
White
ice.
Claw.
Drinking my White Claw. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, whatever. Did Maddie pick his?
No,
we're waiting for you to get back.
Oh, you didn't need to wait for me.
All right, so in the South,
I've got. Pick.
Well, I really thought hard about it. I wanted to pick Longwood in honor of Emily. It's her alma mater. Go Lancers! But I think Houston beats them like a drum.
Well, as long as Houston can score more than 41 points, which is what they scored in the SC or the whatever the Big 12 final or whatever their AAC or whatever, they scored 41 whole points.
Well,
as the number one seed, presumably, and they lost.
Well, Houston plays good defense.
They scored 41.
Isn't bad on defense.
They're 41. Did you not hear me? 41.
I hear you.
But me and Micah could score 41. I think.
Maybe in 4 games of basketball.
Yeah. Against Houston?
No. I wouldn't.
Not
There's no experts.
All right.
Against Longwood.
I got Texas A&M over Nebraska.
Yeah.
And this is my upset for the South. I'm going with the JMU Duke.
There's your 12-5. It's bound to happen, so I don't mind that pick. I like that pick.
Yeah, and JMU's 1-0 versus the top 25. So I think they go 2-0 after the first round.
We ain't got to the second round yet, and don't you dare pick them over Duke.
All right, I ain't got there yet. All right, then of course I hate to do it. It really hurts my heart, but I'm going with Duke is puke over Vermont.
That's right.
I'm going with NC State over Texas Tech. I like the way NC State played in the ACC tournament. I think they played really hard. I think it carries over, and I think they're going to take out Texas Tech. That's my second upset. I got Kentucky over Oakland, and I've got Florida over Boise or Colorado, whichever one wins the play-in game. And then I've got Shaka, the smart man at
Shaka.
Marquette.
We do not speak his name in Virginia.
I like him.
Well, he left VCU in shambles, so fuck Shaka.
I don't think he left him in a shambles.
He did. Too.
I don't think so.
Oh,
how do you leave him in a shambles?
Final Four and then took money and went to Texas A&M or Texas and got fired.
Texas Longhorns. He went to the Texas Longhorns.
And he got fired, and now he's at Marquette. Well, you'll hear my take on
rolling.
that. That's all right. I respect your picks.
Anyway, Marquette over Western Kentucky.
Yep. What does Micah say?
Well, Micah says I got some breaking news that just came in on my my app that one of those big boys from Kansas will not be playing at all in the NCAA tournament. They were trying to get them both healthy there by having them sit out there in the Big 12 there, but that McCullough guy is going to be not in the tournament for Kansas. So that
well, you're down in the Midwest.
I know. I'm just saying it's just hey, I'm Adam Schefter. I got breaking news. You know what I mean? I just bring it to you live.
I didn't
bring it to you live.
I didn't think he was gonna play anyway, but I didn't.
But now you know for sure. Now you know for sure. But all right, we'll we're backing us out.
Big surprise of the tournament. So good.
Yeah. Well, now it's not a surprise.
Is he hurt?
All right. So I got.
Can I borrow some hair?
Yeah, you can. It's gonna be gray though. It's gonna be gray. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing, but it's gonna be gray.
It'll grow in black, I promise.
Yeah. All right. Houston. I think Nebraska gets this one here. I think Nebraska takes this one. Finished third in the Big Ten. And I don't know. Texas A&M. I seen a couple of their late games. South Carolina went in there, got them. I know South Carolina is a much better team, but I think Nebraska squeaks this one out. I'm never a fan of anything Wisconsin other than cheese. And so I will take this 12-5 car for.
It's not because you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, is it?
Well, I'm from Minnesota, yeah. So with Wisconsin, I got JMU, I got the Dukes. I like their mayonnaise. I like their college team, but I don't like the Duke that's in Durham, but they're still going to beat Vermont. So how about that? That's a nice segue right there. I don't care what you say. What to do with this Texas Tech State game? I mean, we're down here in the southeastern portion of this country, and I saw what State did, and it's like, all right, is this team alive now? Or can they keep riding this roller coaster? Or not? It's not even a roller coaster. I mean, keep riding this pinnacle here. I want them to win.
You got 16 minutes strength.
I know. All right, fine. I'm just because I think Texas Tech still pulls this out. This Kentucky Oakland game is spicy, and if there's a high seed top three, I mean, Kentucky lost to UNC Wilmington. So I live in Wilmington. They lost at home in Rupp Arena to them. Probably the biggest upset I got on the board right here is Oakland over Kentucky.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yep. Oakland over Kentucky.
You have Florida and Marquette, I assume.
I think Florida wins whoever wins that play-in game, and I got Marquette, so I will digress. But I think
Oakland over Kentucky.
Oakland over Kentucky. Yep.
Wow.
Big call there by the strength.
You
Yeah,
must be
well, I
betting
mean,
Aaron's
this
money.
they're wildly inconsistent. They're wildly inconsistent, and I think if a team can put 40 solid minutes together against an inconsistent team that sometimes often lacks discipline, I think that's where they can go here.
Well,
Mm.
but you're also betting against Cheetah Perry at this point.
I don't. They're just a bunch of
Cheetah
one
Perry,
and dude. Just they're
he earned that name rightfully. Every
yep
school he's ever been to, he's won, and he's cheated. And when he leaves, the school goes under sanction,
yep.
and he has his two big boys now, and everybody else other than Micah Redden is saying Kentucky's got a shot to win this whole thing. So Micah Redden is saying no, they're going out round one.
Round one done.
Round one. Here,
Ah,
I've got Houston, Texas
mm.
A&M, the Badgers, Duke,
Mm.
Oh,
Texas Tech, Kentucky, Florida, and Marquette. I went
Well,
chalk except for
chalk.
Texas A&M
That's chalk. 8-9
in
doesn't
that
count.
bracket. Chalk
yeah.
except for Texas A&M. They are from a better conference. They win that game by 2 points. All right, so now we need to go to the
Midwest.
Midwest, and then we'll give that a pretty quick rundown because we got to get to our Elite Eights and Final Fours and stuff, and we've got looks like 13 minutes.
Okay, 10-4.
Well,
Unless
we can
Maddie
always
can add
resume. We can get through the first two rounds
Yep.
if you want to, and then we can always resume. You know,
No, I liked it so far. Let's just speed through this, and then
okay, all right.
maybe we'll skip that and go to.
We at least got to throw our final four picks in for right now. I think,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish up the
All
first
right.
Midwest.
round.
All right. So the Midwest, I got Purdue, obviously. I'm going with Utah.
Obviously,
Well, they're number one. There's only been one number one who's lost to a
two. There's
16.
been two.
Two, excuse me. What two? UVA was one, and who was the other one?
Yeah, it's just UVA lost to UMBC, right? That's it.
Yeah, that's the only one.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that counts twice.
All right, Utah
They
State.
won the championship the year before, and then they got beat by 16 seed. If that doesn't count for two, I don't know what does.
Tip them. Keep tipping them back.
Yeah,
You're
hold on.
interrupting. You want the thing to keep moving along, and
Yeah, he
you
wants
keep
to keep moving,
interrupting
and
you.
he keeps talking.
Yeah. Let's move along. Let me interrupt you the
All
entire
right,
time.
Utah State over TCU. Gonzaga
Oh,
over
Horny
McNeese.
two.
Horny toads. Got to give.
Yeah. Despite the breaking news from Adam Schefter, I'm going with Kansas over Sanford. I'm going with this was a hard one for me because I really like South Carolina, but I think Oregon has been playing some really good basketball. But I went with South Carolina on that one. I thought maybe Oregon might have a chance. I'm going with Creighton over Akron. I've got UVA winning the play-in game and beating Texas. I really think UVA is going to show up and avenge that 16 seed loss from a couple years ago. And then I've got Tennessee over St. Peter's.
All right, Mike.
Yep. Purdue, Utah State. Been keeping an eye on those guys for some reason. But I like Utah State here. Gonzaga. And I am going to go not only Samford to win the first round game, but the Samford to make it to the Sweet 16 and be the
Oh,
lowest seed to make it into the Sweet 16.
wow.
That's where I don't think Gonzaga is. I think if Gonzaga can be had by a team like, I mean, St. Mary's has always been strong, but like the Samford finished first in the regular season and won their conference title as well. Solid team. I am going to go with South Carolina. Creighton over Akron. Got to watch Mac. I watched Mac basketball, and that was just awful. No faith in UVA. Colorado State to win the play-in game. Texas to beat Colorado State, and then Tennessee.
Ooh.
All right, so we're all pretty much online that Texas may be in trouble, right? I've got Purdue
Well,
winning,
he
obviously.
picked Texas to win. I picked UVA.
Right. But they're in trouble. They're not making it far. Utah State wins. Gonzaga does win. Kansas probably ekes out a 2-point win over Samford. I like the balls there to pick Samford. I think South Carolina wins. I think the SEC is the best conference in basketball, which we'll show in a little bit. Creighton's obviously going to win, and I would lay the chalk with them. Whatever it is, 11.5, 13.5. They're going to beat Akron like a bunch of drums.
I agree with that.
I don't know who wins the UVA Colorado State game. If UVA wins, then they're going to have to hold Texas to like 49 points, which they can do to teams. But I think Colorado State wins that game and they beat Texas. And then Tennessee is going to beat St. Peter's by, 30.
Okay.
Let's just throw 30 out there because why not? But so I think we've got like 8 minutes. So everybody throw down their Sweet 16 matchups, I guess.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that either. I don't. I have the first rounds kind of sitting in my face.
Can we do 2, Maddy?
What do you mean? Round 2?
No, can we edit some of this out and then start another one? Or no?
I don't think you can. I think this thing, the way it works is it automatically, you get 40 minutes per session. Not that our viewers and whatnot need to know
right,
that.
but if we start a new session?
Yeah, but I think we only get if the way we've worked it out, you do one a week. We only get 40 minutes per week.
Okay, so
yeah, unless you want to.
Well, I will start.
Unless our sponsor kicks in some money and buys us the subscription.
I'll call White Claw, see if they can do it.
Yeah, they get the plug.
So
let's do. How much time we got?
We got 7, 8, 9 minutes, something like that.
I've got.
Why don't we just skip to the Final Four?
Well, I'm not ready.
We can always revisit it next week.
I've got UConn versus Auburn.
Okay.
BYU versus Iowa State.
What?
Both.
North Carolina versus Alabama. New Mexico versus Arizona.
Oh,
Houston
you doing
versus Duke. Kentucky versus Florida.
That's
Utah State versus Gonzaga.
Let him roll.
Yep,
and
I am.
South Carolina versus Tennessee. And then I've got UConn, Iowa State, North Carolina, Alabama, Kentucky, Florida, Utah State, Gonzaga. I'm sorry, Utah State, Tennessee. Then I've got Iowa State versus North Carolina, Houston versus Tennessee. Tennessee wins the championship over North Carolina. Total points will be 142, 72 to 70. There you have it.
You just did your whole thing.
Yeah. Well, we ain't got much time.
You ain't going to have nothing to talk about next week.
I got plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
Because half those teams will be gone.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to do my round 2, people, right now. So that'll get me to the Sweet 16. So when we revisit this next week, I can pick up where I left off, because I'm still
I didn't hear y'all saying
contemplating
that
my
was what we were
final.
going to do.
Well, I'm just contemplating my Final Four. I'm just not set on it yet. But I've got obviously I had UConn in the second round against Northwestern. I'm taking UConn to make it to the Sweet 16. I got San Diego State over Auburn to get into the Sweet 16. I've got Illinois over Duquesne into the Sweet 16.
Wait, who do you have over Duquesne?
Illinois.
The
Oh, okay, all
Illini.
right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And then I got the Cougs of the Pac-2 into the Sweet 16 over Iowa
Boy,
State.
the Cyclones might win this whole thing. All right, I
They
appreciate it.
might. I mean, they're playing good basketball. But I think Washington State's playing pretty good.
A
We got
Cyclone can swallow up a Cougar, too.
yeah, well, Cougar can fight his way out. We got a Michigan State over Carolina.
Oh no! Oh no! That's
Yes.
just such
I
nonsense.
will never
That is
I
just
will never pick
absolute.
UNC to make it past the damn round of 32. Screw
Whew.
UNC.
All right. Well, we'll have to talk offline. We're gonna have to make a bet on that one. Because that is
I would love that, Maddie, if that never
Yeah,
happened. But
it's
it's
happening.
pretty good
It's
basketball.
happening. Maddie's calling it right here. 41, baby.
Heard it. Tom Izzo beats Hubert.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Right. Right.
I got St. Mary's over Alabama to get into the Sweet 16.
I'm not mad about that.
I got New Mexico over Baylor into the Sweet 16. I've got Nevada upsetting Arizona to get into the Sweet 16.
Ooh.
I've got, huh?
I said, ooh.
I got Houston.
Hey, Liz, can you plug this in? It's dead.
I got Houston over Texas A&M. I got Duke over JMU. I got NC State over Kentucky.
Oh my!
Yeah, I got Marquette over Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
I've got Utah State rocking Purdue's world.
Oh,
yes,
give him the
sir.
business.
Yes, sir. We agree.
I got Gonzaga over Kansas since the Adam Schefter broke that big news.
Big news. That's right.
Yes, sir.
And I got Creighton over South Carolina. I got Tennessee over UVA.
Yes, sir.
That's my round 2. That gets me to the Sweet 16.
What does the strength say?
Well, strength had a little technical malfunction over here. Ran out of battery power. I'm waiting on my beautiful assistant to help me out. Say hi, Liz.
Hi.
All
Hey,
right.
Liz.
All right.
Hi.
Oh, we're back up and all right. Let's save me. All right. All right. So
You got 1 minute.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to give you my Final Four then, because that way you can say that I picked the Final Four and it was
Just
amazing.
pretend I licked my fingers and stuck them on both your glass
Oh
lenses.
no. Yeah, I mean Carolina's going. I don't care what anybody says. We got to take Houston too, so we're gonna take those 2 number 1 seeds, and then we're gonna
Carolina's going to the Final Four?
Huh?
Carolina's
going to the Final Four. Houston's
Okay.
going to the Final Four.
Okay.
Auburn's going to the Final Four,
Ooh,
and
Auburn.
Tennessee's going to the Final Four.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not a
So
bad pick.
Houston, Carolina, Tennessee, Auburn is my Final Four matchup. I'm gonna leave it at that. If I can somehow, I think it's good. I think it breaks right for Carolina. I don't think Purdue's that great. I think it really breaks well for Tennessee as well. I don't know. Houston makes sense, and then I just think Auburn will beat UConn in Sweet 16. I think that's it
You
right
think
there.
so?
Huh?
You think Auburn will take out?
Auburn will take out UConn. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my
I
final.
don't think they get past. I've got them not getting past Tony Gwynn's alma mater.
Well, we're about to when you do this next week, and I'm going to chime in for like 4 seconds, and they're like Tony Gwynn's alma mater. They're not, you do know they're not playing baseball, right?
Yeah.
Well, everybody is playing baseball.
Oh.
The Florida State Seminoles are 18-0. I forgot. If I didn't say that at the beginning, I'm going to say that at the end.
How much time we got left?
The FSU
minute or
Seminoles
two.
are 18-0.
Oh,
No
all right.
other baseball team is 18-0.
Okay. All right. Well,
Period.
that's great. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's not waste the last 2 minutes of this podcast on that dumb shit.
That's not dumb.
Jeez.
If you don't
See,
like
let's use
college
this on some.
baseball, and you're never invited back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
Well, you got to like
Weapon.
college baseball because where
Okay.
does
Okay.
Major League Baseball come from?
I thought you were gonna throw in some free agency talk in or something, or put a big bow on the fact that Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta.
Let's put a big bow on everybody in the NFL has made great. Not everybody, but most teams have made great free agent signings. Other
Other than the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, or the Minnesota Vikings for that matter. You're a Vikings fan. Who have they signed that matters? Nobody.
What are you talking about? They signed Aaron Jones. They signed.
Okay.
All right. They
Who's going to
moved up
hand the ball
into
to
the
Sam
him?
first round.
Darnold. They got Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we got Sam Darnold. I mean,
We can all laugh about that.
Come on. That's got a 14-3 season written all over it.
Oh yeah, the other way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the other way. You're right.
Maybe the other way. I mean, the Bears have done a lot. They're obviously going after Caleb Williams, right? Pittsburgh has
for
got
sure.
17
Good.
quarterbacks.
I don't
now.
want to get anywhere close. No, I'm fine.
I don't know. Dallas just doesn't care. And I look back, and I didn't believe this, but I look back and they said for 5 years they just don't sign big money free agents, and they do not. Yet they've won 12 games 4 out of those 5 years. They just can't make it in the playoffs, and that's only down to one person, and it's either the head coach or the quarterback. I blame the quarterback. Steve Maddy hates.
Hey, it's not mutually exclusive. You can blame them both at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a combination. It could be a combination of both of them. I mean,
well, we got rid of our defensive coordinator.
Well, we didn't get rid of him.
Last
He
year,
left.
our offensive coordinator 2 years ago. The one person the two people we've kept are Dak and the owner. So you can't win 12 games a year and just suck in the playoffs, but they do.
Well, yeah, well, at least you guys win 12 games every year. Like, we win 12 games, then we win 5 games, and then we win 12 or 11, and then we win 6, and then
Well, explain to me, since you're a Vikings fan, explain
Yeah.
to me why in the world would you let Kirk Cousins go? I think he's a great quarterback. I said
Well, I
that
mean,
when he was in
I
Washington.
don't think that he's not a great quarterback. It's just like there's no way in hell I am paying a 38-year or 36-year-old quarterback coming off of ACL surgery, 100 million guaranteed and 180 million over 4 years. Like, there's no. If
But
you want to,
that's the whole thing now, though, Micah, is everybody wants this guaranteed money, and you're not guaranteed to play.
Well, look at what Deshaun Watson got. I don't think he was worth that kind of money.
yeah, but no one says that was a good thing. There's not one person who's like, oh yeah, that Deshaun Watson signing was a great plan. I mean,
No, it was terrible.
In fact, if I were Cleveland, I would have signed Flacco again and just benched.
well, I mean, yeah, but then he also went out and laid an egg in the playoffs too. But I mean,
But
no one thought Russell Wilson getting a $260 million extension. If you want to be successful in this league, you have to hit a home. You have to hit a home run on your. You have to hit a home run on your quarterback in the draft.
Pittsburgh
Keep
right
them for
now
5 years on nothing, huh?
Pittsburgh is lucky as fuck. They get to pay $1 million for Russell Wilson, who I think is still a viable quarterback.
And they got Justin Fields.
And
I'm not
Denver
sold
has
on
to pay
Fields.
$35 million for Russell Wilson because they fired him. Dumbasses.
Well, I mean, I understand that being.
That's why Dak can't be fired from Dallas, because they're not going to take that hit and not have him. I mean, that just makes sense, right?
Well, right, but I mean,
I'd
and then
take the hit.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Maddie. Go ahead.
I'd take the hit. I just don't think he's going to get it done in the playoffs. He looked like
Well,
a
he might
deer in
not,
the headlights.
but
He looked like
Russell
a deer in
Wilson
the
is
headlights in
getting
that playoff
$35
game.
million from Denver, and he's not
I
even
don't
there.
care. I don't care. It's just money. We're not
But
going to win with Dak Prescott.
but
Period.
here's the deal. I'm going to say this though. It's a Jerry Jones ego thing because if he gets rid of McCarthy and he gets rid of Dak and they were not successful, which they have not been other than regular season success, it is an onus on Jerry that he did not make this thing work and made terrible decisions just like the Zeke signing, holding on to Dak too long and holding on to McCarthy too long.
Yeah.
Zeke will be back,
Maybe.
or we're going to get Dalvin Cook, or we're going to take Trey Benson in the second round. We will have a running back. The bigger problem is they have let 2 offensive linemen go. They did keep their secondary. They have signed a linebacker and re-signed 2 linebackers, and Leighton Vander Esch unfortunately just couldn't cut it, and he's
And
retired.
Mike Zimmer is now your defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he signed Eric
He
Kendricks, which I
was
still
fine for 2.5 years.
well, I know that. His last 2 years in Minnesota were a disaster. From the defensive perspective,
Yeah, he
he was.
had talent at Dallas. He had talent at Minnesota. They got traded. They got old. He lost his. He's not a good coach, and I'm glad he's in Washington. Everything Washington has done is stupid because they still are not a good football team. And
All right,
they're
Burley. Well,
still
take us home. We're overtime.
Boys, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank
Oh,
you, Big
I
Red.
thought you had
Yeah,
cut
man.
this off and we were just talking.
No. Take us home.
Oh,
We'll catch you next
well,
week.
here we go. Everybody, thank you for joining. I know there's 5 of you, and we love you all. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. If this ain't fun, I don't know what is. Sponsored now by White Claw, apparently,
And the Maddy Law Firm.
and the Steve Maddy Law Firm.
That's right.
And my bald
I bring
head.
sponsors to the table.
Look at all. I got the bald head sponsor. So
Oh yeah.
we appreciate it. We hope you enjoy our picks. Follow us along. Join the ADB Bracketology Challenge bracket.
ABDS.
No, you tell them because I'm not really sure.
ADB capital small s Bracketology. Sign on. You got a day and a half left. It's been a pleasure, and
See y'all next week.
That's right.
we'll see
Hey,
you
thanks
next
again.
Tuesday after
Out.
half the teams are gone.
Right.
All right, boys. Thank you.